Alright people, what's going on? It's Ashley Rak-Su, and today's video is called Who Would Win? Because a lot of people are saying that I should fight against FAZE Temper. So right now I'm going to break down, if I fought against FAZE Temper, who would win? So I didn't want to do it randomly. I thought, let me break this down into some categories so we can actually go through this and like get a proper answer. Do you know what I mean? So number one, would the fight ever happen? Could me and FAZE Temper ever happen? Well, the answer to this question is definitely a yes. It's something that was being spoken about behind closed doors previously, as FAZE Temper needed a comeback fight. It's something that obviously I wanted and that I was up for, and also something that Mams was up for as well. Ultimately, on his redemption arc and his journey back to the top, he chose to fight against Ginty instead. That's his prerogative. So it didn't happen, but now we both won. Going forward, it probably is something that in the future could happen again. So yes, could I fight against FAZE Temper? 100%. Experience. So FAZE Temper's had 5 fights now, right? So he's got 3 wins and 2 losses. His 3 wins come against King Kenny, Overflow, and also most recently against Ginty. His 2 losses have come against Slim and against KSI. They're pretty devastating as they were both knockouts, like, you know, like you get me, like it's a bit mad. However, it's good level competition that he has fought against. Me, I've got 4 fights. I fought against Big Tobes on Wicked and Bad, which I won that fight, but I'll be honest with you, it was absolutely terrible. Tobes was a lot bigger than me, so I was just very focused on not getting hit myself. I'll keep it a buck, don't go and watch the fight, there's nothing to see. After that, stupid me decided to fight against Anthony Taylor. By the time I fought against Anthony Taylor, he'd had 8 professional MMA fights and I think 3 professional boxing matches. His last fight before me was Tommy Fury. I've got no idea why I said yes, and we all know that I lost that. After him, I fought against King Kenny, light work. After that, I then fought against Hallow Ham, light work. So I think if you were to measure up both of our experiences, it's quite similar, but he's had more fights with me, and I guess I've had 2 fights against top level opposition in Anthony Taylor and King Kenny. He's had 3 fights against top level opposition in King Kenny, Slim, and KSI. So 1 point goes to FAZE Temper because of the experience. All right, the next part is, what does the meaning of this fight like do to us both emotionally, right? So for FAZE Temper, emotionally, what would it mean to fight me? I think if FAZE Temper was to fight me, it would be really important for him because it would give him a chance to exercise his demons. Right now, anytime he sees a black person between the height of like 5'10" to 6 foot tall with dreadlocks, he probably gets nightmares because he's thinking, oh my God, it could be KSI, I could be about to go to sleep. Emotionally, if he was to fight against me, he would be able to get rid of all of that. If he could beat me, he could just sleep really soundly at night, knowing that, yeah, I've managed to deal with that, they're not all out to get me, which I think would be really important. For me personally, I'd be fighting against somebody who started FaZe Clan. Like, that's absolutely massive. Do you know what I mean? I'd be so excited. I'd be giddy. I know every time you not see me, I'm normally smiling and laughing anyway, but I'd be smiling even more if I got to fight against FaZe Temper. That's just a positive thing and me being happy about it. For him, on a serious note, it will be a massive part of his redemption arc if he was to be able to beat somebody with my style, because obviously Ginty's so different to KSI. So I actually feel like he's got a bigger motivation there from an emotional perspective. So as far as me and him fighting, I think that's actually 2 points to FaZe Temper. So yeah, it's not looking very good. Not looking good, bruv. My current mental state, what's going on with that? So for me personally, my current mental state is that I'm still fairly confident, although I'm a little bit disappointed that I wasn't able to stop Hallow Ham and get him out of there. So whilst I'm confident in my abilities and I know that I'm getting better as a boxer, there is a part of me that's like, rah, bruv, you couldn't stop, like, you couldn't stop a little Hallow Ham, bruv. I should have stopped him. Anyway, we move on. Let's not dwell on the past. And then if you're FaZe Temper, after beating Ginty, you're obviously feeling way better about things. You're like, yeah, I've still got it. I might not have it at that top level, but I've still got it. His current mental state is also going to include the fact that he's about to be a father. So congratulations to Tommy. Congratulations to you. Honestly, all jokes and banter aside, I wish you all of the best, man. Like, good luck with it. Unfortunately, from a fighting perspective, it might plant a little seed of doubt in his head. It might make FaZe Temper think, do I really need to be fighting? Like, if he was going to get into a fight with me, would he be super hesitant? Would he be like, look, I've got a child at home. I don't want to get hurt. And obviously in a boxing ring, if you're so worried about getting hurt and you're being too hesitant, then actually sometimes you're even more in harm's way. So that's a really interesting variable. He'd probably be super cautious because of that. Maybe I'd be doubting myself a bit, being like, if I couldn't stop Hallow Ham, can I stop Temper? So I think it'll be level. I think both of us would be like, yeah, we believe in our own source a little bit, but we don't fully believe in our own source. Like, we wouldn't go and start a Domio company right now. Yeah, I'm gonna call that a draw, which means it's still 2-0 to FaZe Temper. All right, the next criteria is the physical gifts of each fighter. My man's 6'4", 4, bruv. FaZe Temper is tall. I'm 5'10". I was like 5'10" in year 10 when I was like 15 years old. And I thought I was going to have a growth spurt, but the growth spurt just never came. Like, I was waiting. I don't know if you've ever ordered anything online, yeah, and you thought you got Amazon Prime, but there's no Amazon Prime, so you thought it was coming tomorrow, but it just didn't come. I'm quite small. And although people think I'm like really muscular, just like never, like I'm actually not that wide. Remember, against Hello Ham, I actually weighed in lighter than him. I weighed in at 173 pounds. Like, I'm actually not naturally, I'm not a big dude. You look at my hands, you look at my wrist, like I'm just not a big person, you get me? And in boxing, they say that a good big un always beats a good little un, I think is the phrase. And so, looking at that, the height difference, the reach difference, if we were to fight at, let's say, like a catch weight of 182.5 or 185, he's going to have massive advantages. At 175, it evens it up a little bit because although he's still going to have the reach advantage on me, at least he's going to have to be skinnier. God forbid, if we fight at 190 when he can be his full out biggest version of himself at 6'4", and you got me like a little trying to just beef up to get there, yeah, it's a bit long, bruv. I would still do it. But again, he'll probably have the advantage. So on advantages at the moment, it's kind of 3-0 to him. Okay, next criteria is stylistically. Styles make fights in boxing. His style, Malik Scott has been trying to teach him how to box properly, box pretty, box clinically. Let me tell you something, I ain't trying to hear any of that. Tommy, FaZe Temper, you see all that pretty boxing you're doing? I'm gonna wing shots over the top. Pop, 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 pop. I'm winning the stylistic battle because I'm making this game up and I'm the person who's the judge. So right now, I'm going to say that I'm winning the stylistic battle. And if me and FaZe Temper were to have a fight, he would struggle more with my style than I'd struggle with his style. Because his typical textbook style of boxing, I can figure out. My style of boxing is I don't even know what I'm about to do. So how do you know what I'm about to do? And so therefore, I have the advantage. So all of the scores right now, it is 3-1. So far, the emotional side of things goes to FaZe Temper. Experience goes to FaZe Temper. Size and physical gifts go to FaZe Temper. But stylistically, that goes to me. So it's 3-1. Now, what does the history of our joint opponents say? We both fought against King Kenny. He beat him. Obviously, it was a case of Kenny being given the win on the night, and then it was retrospectively and correctly changed and given to FaZe Temper. But it was a bit of a ding-dong affair. Me versus Kenny. Kenny hit me 3 times all fight. It was extraordinarily comfortable. So if you were to go on that, you would probably say that maybe I've got the advantage. So maybe it's 3-2. Now, where and when could this fight happen? Where and when could I fight against FaZe Temper? Well, there are rumours of another Misfits card at the end of this year after the Prime card. But considering he would have just started the family, I'm guessing that he's not going to want to jump into a training camp and he's going to want to spend time with his missus and with his kids. So if me and FaZe Temper fight, it's probably looking at being some point, maybe mid-2024, once he feels like, yeah, things are settled enough for him to jump into camp again and then we can run it. Where? Who knows? There's obviously talk of a Brazil show. That would be super dope for him. I guess it would be a bit of a homecoming as well. And you know me, I think that would be fun as anything. I would very much happily go to Brazil. I was actually going to go in February for Carnival anyway. So Misfits, Mams, like if you can make the Brazil show in February so I can be at Carnival, like that would be lit. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, there you have it. This is my analysis. I think if you add up the points between me and FaZe Temper, I think it's like 3-2 to FaZe Temper. And so if you're a betting person, your money should probably be on FaZe Temper to defeat me. Only on points, obviously. Like, man can't, like, knock me out. You get me? I ain't really got a neck, so I've got good resistance. Yeah, he should be the betting favourite. But anybody who bet on him because he was the bookie's favourite should just lose all their money because I would still win. I mean, I actually don't know how, but I would still win. I'll find a way. Don't worry. I'll find a way to win. I just don't know what that way would be yet. But I ain't done the statistical analysis. You know what I mean? I need to get all of his fights out and then start breaking it down. What's his weakness? What's his weakness? What's his weakness? Ginty didn't really expose too much. Do you know what I mean? And to be fair to him, he's been training with Malik Scott. That's like top level coaching. But I don't care. I'ma still win. But he should be the favourite. I think he's scared. I think there's a lot of people that are scared of me. I don't know why. I'm not even good. Why are you scared of me, people? Basically, it's 3-2 to FaZe Temper on points. So really, if we fought, he should be the winner. But deep down, I know I would win. Yeah. Like and subscribe, people. And let me know if there's any other who would wins you want to see, whether they're involving me or they're involving other people as well. I'm going to catch you all soon. Peace. Love.